Good evening everyone, and thank you for attending. It's nice to see a good turnout and that current archers have got an affinity to learn more about the technological advancements in their sport. It's not often that we have so many esteemed archers in one small hall. We have several Olympians in the hall this evening. Most of you don't know who they are, so I'd like all the Olympians in the hall to stand and give us a wave. It's also not often that we get the chance to hear from one of archery industry's leaders in the development of technology within the sport. So when I got this chance, I seized it with both hands. We welcome from Korea Mr. Park, the owner and founder of the company, supported by Mr. Bonchan, Olympic gold medalist in Rio. Also supported by our own Olympians, Naomi Falker and Larry Godfrey, shooting win and win. And Tony and Eddie on the sales side from Win and Win. So the format for this evening, Mr. Park will speak for around an hour, introduce the new products for 2017 and talk about the advancement they've made in their bows. Then we'll have a short refreshment break and Mr. Bonchan will shoot some arrows for all of you to watch and video. We are filming this evening to go on our website and our social media platforms, but you are all welcome to do the same on your own devices. I hand you over to Mr. Park.
Good evening, everybody. It's great for me to be here and to introduce my new production. And thanks to Mr. Wesley allowed me to be here. Thank you very much, Wesley. And in this time, I'm going to talk about what is the bow? Good bow. Good bow and bad bow, what is different? I try to explain that. First of all, my English is not perfect. Sometimes you may not be understand what I talked, but I'm sure that your archers already know what archery is, so I think it's not easy. It's not difficult to understand what I talked. So if you have something not understand that, anytime question to me, I will try to answer about that. Can you understand what I talked? Yes. Thank you very much. Leslie, talk to me. My English is much better than before. I tried. Normally, somebody talked like that. The bow performance is no matter, not important. The archer's skill is more important to get score. So I think like that. If the perfect machine shoot with the shoot perfect situation, then can be shoot perfectly. But in case of the machine, any kind of machine, they have their own average error ranges, tolerance they have. So the good machine has the less tolerance. The bad machine has the big tolerance. So the tolerance influence can be influenced the scores I think you understand very easily. And the other things, archers made a very easy mistake when shooting, especially particularly the Olympic round. The mistake is very important. Even very small mistakes influence the scores and decide the winners. So the ball have to be very to the archer's mistake. So when I consider to develop the balls, always I'm thinking the exact accuracy balls, the less tolerance, and forgiving forgiving to archer's mistake. So 2 point is most important, I think. So now I'm talking about what kind of things the influence the ball accuracy and forgiving. And the other things, after that, I try to explain about new productions. For the ball accuracy and forgiving, actually, to develop the accuracy ball is not easy. There is many kind of functions, the material and the design and the processing, many kind of things. But to check out which is the accuracy is very simple. Already we know that firstly, center shot and limb torsion, 2 kind of things. If center shot and limb torsion is correct, then we can say that is accurate balls. And the second is swing movement. When release, the swing move from here towards to the target and hit the arrow. So after hitting the arrow, how to move the string is a show ball performance. That is also one of the most important barometer to look the ball accuracy. And the third thing, ball torque. In shooting, you know, when shooting, there is a shock happen. At that time, the ball start move. That we call the torque, you know. And torque happened before arrow passing through the side windows. The ball touched the arrow flight directly. That influences arrow flight and the arrow grouping also. That is very important. So when I consider that ball developed, how to get the center shot exactly, or to get correct limb torsion, and the swing movement must be short and narrow is much better to get ball performance. So how to make to get the less the swing movement and also bow torque also. In case of bow torque, is even it's a very short moment, but there is many kind of things influence the bow torque. So I try to develop how to reduce torque when shooting. And the last one is damper. We already know that shock and vibration is to influence the ball performance. So we try to use many kind of damper, attach the limb and attach the risers and attach the stabilizer to reduce vibration. But what is the exact role? What is how to influence the ball performance? The roles I will explain about that. In case of center shot, already you know that I think it's not necessary to explain about the center shot. But just one thing, I want to talk to you. Normally, the center shot, check the center shot is not like that. It's not. The string passes through the center of limb and the riser. Have to check the center of the ball. We explained it like that. That is of course it's important. The string passes through the center of the limb and the riser. That means the center of the ball. But more important thing is the string have to be, look at this one. Look at this arrow mark. String have to be the center of the grip. That is more important. That is more important. The reason is if a string is out of the center, then when drawing, the bow is twisted. The bow is twisted. After release, the string get turned like this. At hit the ball, at the moment of hit the ball, at the time, it's a very important reason the torque happened. So the string have to be hit the balls straightly like that, straightly. So because of that, important thing is that the string have to be center of the ball, center of the grip, pivot point of the ball, I can say like that. So actually, the string passes through the center of the limb is not so important. If the string passes through the center of grip and if the limb bended straightly, not twisted like that, bended straightly, there is a, I can say that a ball center shot is right state. Even the limb is a little bit left side, a little bit right side, this is no matter. If the limb bended straight. Normally, the limb, the string passes through the center of the limb means we expect that the limb bended straight. So if the limb is if the string passes through the center of the grip and the limb is bended straightly, then a little bit the limb is not straightened. That is not so important. So look at this one. You know, this is developed by the company. That is very good tools to check the center of the ball, the center shot. But sometimes archers think that is only one way to check the center shot. But it's wrong. What I mean, if you understand what I mean, then you can understand what is different. What is different? How about my English? Can you understand that? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, for the center shot, more important thing is this is the center shot. This is a limb torsion. The center shot is the string passes through the center of the grip, and then you must check the limb torsion. It's the way is already you know that. Look at like this, and look at the tips, the location on the surface of the limb. That is also very important. Already you know that. If the limb is twisted like that, then when drawing, this is getting twisted more. Already I explained that when it release, the limb go turning like that, and then makes a torque happen. So this is the center shot, check center shot, and the limb torsion at the setting the balls.
Some archers also say that you should align the long rod and the string as well as the centre of the riser.
Yeah.
Is that part of the method?
Long stabilizer.
Yes.
In case of a long stabilizer, if the long stabilizer located on the riser straightly, there is no problem. But many cases, this part is not straight. So sometimes if you bend if you force the like that, it's bended easily. So if you look at the only stabilizer, this is I can say this is a not perfect way. More important to get the perfect way is the risers. When you look at the center shot, you have to make the riser to be straight. So that means when you stand here, look at the riser. If you look at this side, if you look at this side, I can say this is not right position. So when you send it, both side cannot be shown to you. You make the riser straight. That is a better way. If you make the riser straight and then look at the stabilizer. Where is the located the stabilizer? If the stabilizer right side or left side, just try to bend it to the straight. That is best way. More important, what I mean is more important thing is riser. Riser has to be straight. Riser has to be straight, and then string passes to the center of the grid, and then look at the limb torsions. More important things, you have to check the center torsion and limb torsion at the full draw. You know this tool is already. This is developed by Vital. The name is Vital Brazier. This is written by Vital company. If you look at the Vital website, look for the Vital Brazier, and this sentence is written. He also, I think, is developed more than 10 years. I think 10 years, 15 years. Mr. Vital developed that one, and then announced to the archers have to check the center shot and the limb torsion at full draw. He talked like that. This is written by Vital company on the website. But here, look at here. It may be with a limitation. He wrote like that. That means at that time, 10 or 15 years ago, he thought have to check center shot, limb torsion at full draw, but all of the ball is not perfect. That means you can understand what I mean. So at that time also, I didn't consider the limb torsion and center shot as a full draw, because at that time I never thought about that. So a little I embarrassed Mr. Vital talked about center shot and the limb torsion at the full draw, but I thought it is really very important things to get ball accuracy. So I try to develop to get right center shot at the limb torsion at the full draw. Before, most of the ball cannot get a perfect line at full draw. The reason is like that. When we make the limbs, after making the limbs, we check the center shot and the limb torsion, and then check the center shot at the setting up. If this is not right, then cut here or sending here. So we adjust the center shot at the setting up. So in case of that kind of pose, when drawing, still the limb is twisted at full draw. So I had to change the processing, the balls. I had to control from the material to be accuracy at the full draw. Look at this. Why important to check center shot at the limb torsion at full draw? Look at this one. This is at the setting up the right position, center shot and the limb torsion. And if the limb is a correct one, when drawing, the limb bended straightly on the center line. Limb bended straight like that. And if the limb is twisted like that, we twisted like that, the string is out from center lines, So in case of that, if you release it, the string get torn like this, So the torque, very important reason to torque happen. Look at this video. This video is a take picture. This direction. So here, this is the thick one is also arrow, and the thin one is arrow. So now, and look at video like that. Then this arrow is going parallel like that. So in case of this ball, the center shot is right, and then limb torsion is right, and then when drawing, it's bended correctly. You can see immediately. And the other one, actually, this limb is not correct one. So the center shot and the limb torsion is right at the setting up, But the limb is not correct one. Look at it, what happened when drawing. The limb is not correct one when drawing, is getting twisted more, you can see like that. So in case of that ball, already I mentioned, as a release, the string go turn like that. That is there must be more. The torque happened at the moment actually. And look at the other one. Actually, I don't know the limb from where, but just there is many kind of the balls like that. So just I took a picture. This ball is the limb torsion and the center shot is not correct at the setting up. So in case of that, when drawing, look at it, what happened. It's getting more twisted. Getting more twisted. So you understand? You notice that which companies are linked, but I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Just I looked for some limbs. They're in problems. So I adjusted it. Now there is many tools on the limbs, on the risers. Change the center shot and what is that? Change the angles limbs, and just there is many kind of ways to adjust the limb center shot and the limb torsion. So I adjusted by myself to be correct. This is now center shot is right and the limb torsion is right. But you can guess that when drawing how limb is moved when drawing. Is even at the setting up, the limb torsion and the center show is right, but when drawing, this is twisted. Twisted. So if the limb at the processing, if the limb is not correct, even there is many ways to correct for the limb center short and the limb torsion, but the problem cannot be solved. Even so, when you check the center short or limb torsion, checking at full draw is more important. Again. This is the graphic show the string movement. In case of this one, the right center short and the right limb torsion. So if you shoot it, just you can see immediately the limb string move straightly like that. Just look at the video. Now is a string going, and arrow leave from string, and the string move like that. String move going front side and going up and down like that. Go move the string. You can realize that. And this one is a limb torsion, and the center shot is not correct one. Look at it. You can realize that immediately the string movement is like this. So after at moment of hitting the balls, the string move like this. There must be the torque happened more. We can guess. It's not so difficult to guess it. Thus, I try to explain why the string movement is important. Already you can guess that, you can realize that there is many kind of part, many part influence the string movement like this. The limbs balance, upper limbs and the lower limbs balance, speed balance and shock absorption balance and vibration balance. If upper part, the lower part is different, it's influences string movement directly. So and the riser also. In case of the riser, if the absorption shock is no good, that influence the string movement also. So I can say when you look at the string movement, it's good. If it's good, then we can realize that ball is good. If the string movement is no good, then we can realize that immediately the ball is not so good. So I can say the string movement is the most important indicator, barometer, to look at the good or bad balls. Especially look at this one. Balance, in case of the riser, the balance between upper part of lower part is also one of the important part to get limb movement, string movement. When you look at it, the lower part is the center of the balls, but upper part is the out of center line, just the right side or left side. So when drawing, this part is easy. Its possibility is not easy. There is possible to bend it, to twist it like that. So and after release, to get shock also, upper part and the lower part is different. If it's different, it also influences the string movement. Okay, I'll explain later about that when I talked about riser. This is for ball torque in shooting. I think already you know about that, but I want to explain again about this. After release, look at this picture. After release, the arrow starts from here and passes is out from the riser. It takes about 0.012 seconds, about 100th it takes. And the arrow leave from string and passes through the bow. It takes about 0.003 seconds. It's very short time. At that time, after leave from string to the to pass through the side window, the bow is moved. Bow is moved. That is torque. That is torque. The problem is the arrow passes through the side window. The side window touches the arrow flight directly. So all kind of bow is same situation. So the arrow is passes through side window very fast. At that time, the torque touches the arrow. So there is no doubt the influence arrow flight directly. Also influence arrow grouping directly. If all bow is different, the good bow is about torque moved 0.1 or 2 millimeters, and the bows the torque happened too much. That is big one is 0.5 or 0.6 millimeters is moved. So we can guess that how much the torque improves the arrow flight and the arrow groupings. So it's directly makes the scores. We can realize that. Look at this video. Look at this video. Move, release from here, and going from here. 이게 저기 안 보이는 거야. After release, the leave from string from here. Look at this one, and then go pass through the side window until here. This graph shows this point movement. This point movement. So look at this point. How to move it after release. Going from here to here, you can see this point is moved right and left here. That is torque. That is torque. So when the bow is moved like that, at that time arrow passes through the side window, so that torque influences the arrow flight directly. There is no doubt influence the arrow grouping and the score. That is torque. Now I'm going to explain about what is the role of a damper and what is the relate with the torque. Look at this graph. Shows this is shooting without the damper, and this is shooting with the dampers. So we can realize that in this part, compared with this one, is smaller than that one. So we can realize that damper effect, effective to reduce vibration when shooting immediately. Just the next graph is show is bigger like that. From here, this part is not moved, not changed, and from here, the vibration is reduced. Then this one, you can realize that this part is bigger, but next one is getting smaller. So we can realize that the damper have a very, very effective to reduce vibration. But the vibration reduced from here, that time is this is you cannot see the letters, but this vibration reduced from just 0.04 seconds after arrow leave from string. That means here is a shooting moment. After shooting moment, the torque happened from here. Just 0.03 seconds, the torque happened. And then after that, 0.04 seconds, the vibration is getting reduced. That means even the damper effect to reduce vibration, but it's never influenced to the torque. It's not at all. So after shooting, 0.04 second means already after shooting, when the reducing vibration, the arrow already leave from bow from the bows. So I think in 0.04 seconds, the arrow already 5 or 6 meters is leave from bows. So in case of when you use the damper makes you feeling is better and comfortable, but you have to know that it's not influenced to the torque, not influenced to the arrow grouping. That is different. What I developed the bows is different things. So my point is without the damper, how to reduce the shock to get less torque and to get more better string movement to get more arrow grouping, good arrow flight. That is my point. Now in the new bow, I'll explain the new bows, what is different with the before one. So before VRS also, I considered to develop the better bows, what I taught. But in case of this bow is new one for next year. Is much special, much different with before. So I'm going to explain about that. First one is I used the graphene foam core. Have you heard the graphene foam core before? This is one very high-tech new materials as nanotechnologies. Before already I used the nanotechnology material. It's called the CNT, but its graphene is better than CNT to reduce shock and to get more strength and endurance. So in this time, I developed the cores with graphene foam, graphene material. So this foam is much better than before. So in this time, I present only one kind of limbs. You know, before all of the new bows has two kind of cores, two kind of limbs. One is a foam core, one is a wood cores. Actually, the different things is very simple. The wood core is more effective to reduce shock and vibration and shooting. But the foam core is more accuracy, more consistent the material is. In case of wood, there is each part is different stiffness, and very easy to change it when you practice long. Then there is a possibility to speed is down because it's wood. But in case of in this time, only I produce only one kind of limbs with a graphene foam core because the graphene foam core reduce shock and vibration is better than wood, and then more accuracy in the foam cores. They have two kind of good point from here and from here, so it's not necessary to develop the wood core limbs. So in this time I present only one kind of limbs. Special things, when we developed the limbs, before we did like that. We attached the paper tape on this side and the other side, and drawing. We check the tracks on the paper tape. So we calculate which part is bended more or not. So we make the bandages of limbs, each part. So look at this graph. This is the inner power is the most popular, one of the most popular in the world. Many of archers likes to use that inner power limbs, very good limbs. But when I check the limbs, when I check these machines, this is more accurate than paper tape, So at the first time when I check it, the graph shows like this. I surprised at that time. I expected when I developed the limbs with the paper tape, the graph shows like this. I expected, but actually, after checking it, the graph shows like this. So I surprised that. The reason is that I expect the limbs bended when drawing is smoothly, but there is a bended two part. One is here is there's the sense is 10 cents like that. So this is number is 10. So this is the upper part, this is the lower part. Even the inner power limbs very stable, but shows the upper part is bended more. And the lower part also bended like that. That means when drawing, the limb is bended two part. It's not only one part. So in case of that, when drawing and release, at that moment, release, two parts bended is moved together. There is a trouble at the hit the balls. So after find out that graph, I developed the new one is new limbs. Actually, before we are with one also, I developed that one. But in this time, I developed more seriously, so I can say better than before.